action.
Now that you review films and you take all these films on, I've seen some of your reviews where you kill these films. And since you're right in the middle of it, why don't you write a script, something really urban and, something in English which maybe I could direct. I want to make an English film. Why don't you write?
Oh wow, that's a lovely idea. But it requires time, no? You need to take time off. I mean, when you write, I know that you go away and you sort of lock yourself up and you really concentrate on writing. I can't afford to do that with a full-time job.
Yeah, that's really important. I take off. You can't just write while you're doing other stuff. You have to dedicate time to write, and that's how I've made all my films, at least. But you should write. I mean, I know you read a lot, and I've seen you in all these seminars. You always meet at seminars, and you're always right there in the middle of all that. So maybe you should write.
Yeah, it's a good thought. I think I will. I mean, I just need to take time off, and doing shows like this twice a week. And I manage the department. It's a little difficult to take off in that sense. Your mind is always there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should try this.
Is it? Good. And why don't you? This is I think it's green tea, and you've been on this fitness sort of regime, aren't you now? Regimen.
I just drink a lot of green tea, that's all.
But you have lost a lot of weight since I saw you the last time. You've been working out.
That Feeding Frenzy show, is it?
Yeah, feeding. Why you're always on all these food shows? You were on Feeding Frenzy.
I think those are the only shows I never say no to, because I like eating, and once in a while I don't mind talking, so.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier, which I thought was very sort of candid. You were very candid. I asked you, the same question that I asked you earlier, whether people do think twice, producers, before they give you the money, because your movies appeal to a more urban sensibility. And you said something very open and candid.
No, so far I've not had a problem with anybody coming and saying, make films that will be appreciated by people down south, the inner villages and stuff like that. Because I think audience tastes are changing. I've said this before, and that kind of audience wants to see these kind of films, and they want to reach out too. With producers, I've never had a problem, and with this film, we're producers. I'm producing this film myself, and yes, if it's filled with urban sensibilities, I've not given it to any distributor and asked them to release a film. I'm not taking money up front from anybody. I'm doing a direct producer to theatre sort of a thing, wherein I release a film in all the theatres, and the spoils or shares, we share it equally, between the exhibitor and the producer. So if it's a big hit, it's ours. If it's a flop and if anybody loses money, it's us, because of what we put in, So I'm playing it safe that way.
But what's the journey been like for you? You started off as an engineering graduate. You worked under Rajiv Menon?
Yes.
And you were married also then, right? Weren't you?
Yeah, I got married not while I was working with Rajiv, before I made my first film. I always wanted to be a filmmaker from the time I was like 15 or 16. And when I finished engineering, I kind of announced it to my parents, and they were really okay with that. They didn't say no, and that was really important for me, And I tried to look for work, and I met Mr. Rajiv, and he asked me to join him, and I worked as assistant director on one film in Sarakanavu. And then I came out on my own, did some small stuff.
So were those years of struggle for you?
Yeah, struggle, yes, definitely. But I think I'm a sort of a survivor. I managed to do a whole lot of stuff. Like I did my own ad films. I assisted somebody else. I worked with another person called Mr. Vijay, and it was just two of us, He'd call the shots and I'd help him do everything. I learned a lot from him, actually. So I kept moving on, and then I used to write a lot. And at some party or something, I met Madhavan, and we casually got talking. And I think people think I don't talk, but I think I communicate really well. So I managed to.
We have proof of the pudding is right here on the show.
I managed to, in about half an hour, narrate the story of Minnale to him. And he loved it. And he said, let's do it. And in about 3 months, we were shooting. So.
That's my favorite film of all the ones that you've made.
Okay.
I think Minnale had a certain innocence. That's the word, innocence. It had a lovely innocence about it, something fresh and lovely.
Yeah, looking back now, I wouldn't rate it as one of my best films, because, it was still very raw, and it was made when I was still learning and stuff like that. But since then, I think I've come around, I've evolved, I think. But if you like Minnale, you will like Vinay Tandi Parvaya, because again, we're back to the territory which I like doing the most. It's a love story,
I think the movie which I thought was not very unlike you was Vettayadu Vilayadu. I think I've told you this. Maybe because even I don't like violence, but that's not you.
Yeah, but I want to dabble. I want to reach out and do a whole lot of genres. I don't want to get stuck to one particular format. You know, like after Vinay Tadi Baravaya, I want to do an action film. I want to come back and do a comedy. You know, so I want to dabble, so to speak. You know, in a whole lot of stuff.
Is that usually a good thing? I mean, don't you want to stick to one sensibility?
No, I don't want to
you know?
be recognized by one particular film. I don't want people to come to the theatre expecting, okay, he's done this, so this is what he'll be doing with this film. You know, I want them to come with no expectations and then love the film.
And tell me about your little sons. You have 3 little boys. They all look like you.
I don't know, that's a good thing, but yeah, they look like me. I think they're good-looking guys. 3 of them. Arya is
What do
the
they think
oldest.
about your films?
I mean, they're really young, right? Arya has now started watching a lot of films. I mean, he gets his own time in my TV room upstairs. Preeti sends him up, and he watches a film on every Sunday afternoon, which I thought was nice. You know, he's now only dabbling in films, and watching films and stuff like that. He likes songs in the sense whenever I get a song from Rahman, I play it for him first in the car. You know, and I work on how he reacts, and he loves Hosanna, so I knew that'll be like a straight hit. Are we taking a break again, or are we still going to talk?
We have to finish. Our time's up.
Okay.
Time's up. But we have to talk to you after the film releases as well too.
Sure.
You know, maybe we can do
I'd love to. You'll kill my film anyway, right, with your review?
That's unfair, but maybe I can do a review in front of you and you can sort of...
No, fair enough. You can say whatever you want, but you have to be sensible about it, and I won't have a problem with that.
I think I am that. Well, thanks for joining.
Sure, thank you, Anu. I had a good time.